guys, here's what we're making today. The mini box tote by Sewgnar. It's so cute. It's a little bag. It's called the mini box tote. It's got a zipper placket top. Nothing on the back, nothing on the front. A two-tone strap, which is nice. And then when you open it up, it's pretty good size. And you have a slip pocket. I did an overlay. But it's just a slip pocket. It's really kind of nice. Oh, I broke a clip in there. There was a clip in the bottom. And then you just close it up. It's so cute. Go get the pattern. Let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I want to start this video by saying I just met the most lovely person, Annie. She's one of our subscribers on the channel. She is so lovely. She's from the UK. She's lived in the United States for quite a while, but she is originally from the UK, so she has a very lovely accent. And just as sweet, sweet, sweet as can be. She brought me some flowers. Isn't that the kindest thing? And she wrote me a very sweet note. It made, when I first read it, I started tearing up. So Annie, that was just so fun to meet you. And I know sometimes you guys think it's all you and how exciting it is for you to meet me. You have no idea. It's much more exciting for me to meet you because I see your comments. I know you're a subscriber. And once I actually get to meet you, like on the Zooms and stuff, it is so fun for me. So Annie, it was my pleasure to meet you. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and hopefully we'll meet again soon. So thank you very much for the flowers, the kind words, and the nice little gift you put in the envelope. That was very, very sweet. Appreciate it. Okay, so today I am going to do a recorded version. Let me get the pattern here. You'll see it before this, but a recorded version of the mini box tote by Sewgnar. It's a pretty small bag, I think. I have never made it, so I don't really know for sure. I am doing it out of Cork. And interestingly enough, the fabrics I chose are very similar to the ones that she has on the front of the pattern. I didn't really intend for that, but that's what I'm doing. It's very cute. So this is going to be the bottom. Very pretty. I did put interfacing except in the corners on both bottom pieces. Deck of a light. And then for my top pieces, I'm using this, and I left the interfacing in the seam except for the top. Now, it is a raw edge top, and I am going to leave it that way for this one. You'll probably have seen the live version that Lori and I are going to do. And I think on that one, she's going to do a drop-in lining, and I think I will too. So, and I am going to do a double-sided handle, 1 inch. I am going to use antique brass hardware from my website. And then this is the zipper tape. This is new zipper tape that I'm going to be using, that I just started carrying. All kinds of colors. Love it. All right, the mini oxbow. There is a discount in the description below, so please go and utilize that for 15% off the pattern. Thank you, Nicole, for doing that. Let's get started. All right. So to make a double-sided strap that ends up being 1 inch, you just start with your larger piece, which will be 2 inches. Divide it down the middle. Put some tape in there. And fold that into the center. There will be raw edge here, but not when we're finished. I don't know what you can see. Okay, yeah. I don't have quite as much space over here. Let me see if I can do this all at once. So I am going to use Thor today because yesterday when Leslie was here, Thor was Mr. Nasty. Yep. And gave her all kinds of fits. I played with him for over an hour last night, did a thorough cleaning, and he seems to be doing better. I still have a call in to Al at Sunny Sewing Machines to see, you know, if it could possibly be the needle adjuster or the needle positioner, I should say. We'll see. But that was very frustrating for Leslie. She was a trooper, and she powered through it in true Leslie fashion. But I should have just used him myself because he can be very persnickety. I know some of you guys said that you don't ever have any issues with Pierce. I have no idea. We're going to see how he does today. I did leave my regular walking foot on. Does that make a difference? I don't think so, honestly. We'll see. But I like having it on there, so we're going to use it. I'm just going down the line, make sure I got it on there nice and even. Okay. And I am going to add a piece of double-sided tape down the center. So that when I add my other side, it'll stick and not move on me. And this is out of my seam allowance for the top stitching. So that's one side. This probably takes longer than the whole bag, making a double-sided strap. It's worth it. But it does take quite considerable amount more time, so I'll do the rest of this on fast forward. All right, so I don't know if I mentioned this piece that is the top is a 1.5 inch piece that you fold in. That's how I do it. So this one on the bottom is 2 inches. This one on top is 1.5. And I leave about 3/4 of an inch for the top fabric so I can fold it over. And you just want to get your sides as even as you can. Both of these are just absolutely gorgeous cork. I haven't bought any cork in a while. I have a wholesale account with Fabric Funhouse, so I have to buy so much at a time to get the discount that I don't really need any for a while. All right, let's trim this and turn it over. I'm just cutting off the salvage of that cork, and then I'm going to trim that much off and fold it over. Let me get a piece of tape. So that's what that looks like. Just so there's not as much raw edge. There is still some. You could certainly put a strap end on if you wanted to. Let me get another little piece of tape here. Okay, perfect. All right, let's sew this up. All right, let's see how we do. Everything's knocking on my table, sorry. See how beautiful he's sewing? I gave him a real talking to. Sorry, Leslie. Now, I am using cork. So much stuff here. I'm gonna have to do that. It's making entirely too much noise. Okay, let's get stick down here. Okay, let's go sideways. And back down the other side. Beautiful. See, I can go very, very slow, and he doesn't have an issue. I did put a new needle in too, but so did she. Who knows? I cleaned them really good. There was a thread down in here, so that could have been it. Let me see something. Yeah, okay. Beautiful. Look how gorgeous that is. I mean, it's just stunning. All right. Next step. All right, let's add our hardware. So here's my slider. Up and over the middle bar. And then I am going to just add a rivet. This is a very small bag. So let me get my tools. All right, I added a rivet there and I pressed it. So now let's add our swivel clasp. And it's easy to tell which is the right side and wrong side because we have a right side and wrong side. So put it on in there, up and through your slider. And with cork, you can usually get away with just using a regular slide adjuster because it's not that thick. Okay. And then let's add our other swivel clasp. Oh, I just broke it. Okay. Add your rivet, and I will go press that. Okay, so I finished my strap. It turned out very nice. I love it in every way. Okay, so we'll put that aside. I did add my name tag 2 inches up from the bottom. I centered all my pieces, including this, and we're going to add those centered on the bottom and stitch those together with the seam allowance in the pattern. Now, I went rogue again, and I added Decaville and left it in the seam allowance. We'll see. Except on the top. Okay, and it's the seam allowance in the pattern. Let me mark my seam allowance here. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Yeah, okay. It's not a big seam allowance. I knocked something on the floor. Okay, it got off here. Don't ask me how in the world that happened since I had it clipped. And I'm not going to have that. It's weird. So let's fix it. No idea. Just in the middle. No, I don't know. And you can tell because it's bowing. Isn't that just the weirdest thing? Okay, let's fix it. There we go. Not a big deal. Let me clean that. All right, I fixed that. And then I put double-sided tape on each side because we're going to fold that, splay it open, and top stitch. And I made it harder on myself because I put Deck of a Light here, so I think it'll be fine. Famous last words. Yeah, it's sticking pretty good, actually. Okay, let's top stitch 1/8 of an inch on each side of that. Doesn't that look good? I love it. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's turn and come down the other way. Perfect. So there you have it. Very nice. Let me see if I can move this so you can see. Oh yeah, that's better. That looks good. It's a tiny bag. It's smaller than I thought. All right, let's stitch this together and repeat. All right, now we're going to attach these right sides together. Start by matching up your seams there on the bottom. I mean on the sides. Sorry. On both sides. we'll sew those together at seam allowance in the pattern. And I'm just back stitching over that seam. Let's see. Oh, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Let's do the other side. And then let's do the bottom. Nicole has an interesting way of doing the bottoms, and it looks good. I just am not going to try it today. Not with Thor being a, you know what. I think it's a great idea though. So you might, it's in the pattern. And now let's box our corners. And this is one reason why I left the Decaville outside of the seam allowance, so it isn't as thick in the box corners. And then I am going to nestle my seams. Which means one seam's going one way and one's going another way. You could certainly flatten them both out. Totally up to you. And let's do this other one. Okay, I'm just going to trim that just ever so slightly. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's turn it. Actually, I'm going to put a little piece of tape there on the sides to flatten out my top seam for me. Totally optional. But because I put Decaville on here, I just want to make sure that it's nice and flat. I'll have to think about whether I would use Decaville again. I'm going to get it done and we'll see. I don't know. Decaville on Cork is pretty stout. So... Okay, so I just flattened out those seams. All right, let's turn it right side down. I got a paper cut this morning, and it is, you know how paper cuts are? They are just very painful initially. Annoying. So here we'll see how we matched our seams. Oh my, that's perfect. That's perfect. Cool. So there's our side seams. There's perfect. I love it. All right, so now, so Nicole uses a lot of glue. Now this pattern is like 4 years old. I think she uses more double-sided tape now, but she used to use almost exclusively glue. But because the top edge of this bag is a raw edge, and I'm going to do it that way, we're going to add this, yeah, we're going to add our D-rings, and I'm using 3/4, and I'm just putting them on with a piece of tape now and clipping them in place. I try not to use glue as little as possible. Just saying. Center them on your side seams. And make sure they're nice and straight. So just like that on both sides. Okay, next step. All right, so I'm going to do it just a hair different. So I did my 90-degree turn. I have my zipper panel, which we're going to fold over. So it's going to be raw edge on the zipper. And I am going to add it just shy of the top of my zipper. So just like that. so you can't really quite see the top of my zipper. And then we're going to fold it over. And match our seams. So just like that. Now we're going to stitch all 4 edges of that. Hold on a second. All right, so here is our piece, and we're going to stitch all 4 sides. I went and took a break. I have no idea what I said last, so that's why I repeated myself. There we go. And yes, the folded edge is on this side. You could do it. Oops. You could do it a different way if you wanted. This is just how her pattern is. She's known for having raw edges, so I'm okay with that for this one. Very cute pattern. Yeah. There we go. Oops, I kind of missed that, but thankfully that'll be in the seam. Okay. Perfect. Okay, we're going to repeat that with the other side. And you just want to make sure that you're matching, that it's nice and even with what the other side that you already put on there on both ends. Oh my, that's perfect. I can't believe it. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's do that again. You guys, Dora is just purring today. I feel so bad for Wesley because he just gave her fits yesterday. Stinker. Yeah, when you're not using your own machine, it's just different. You know, it just really is different. All right. Okay, that really looks good. All right, next step. All right, I'm going to use a zipper overlay. So I just made, I don't know what this is. Let me see what it is. It is 6.5 by 1.5. And then I have a 1/2 inch opening. It's not for a zipper pocket, it's for a slip pocket. You could put a zip pocket in here. Oops. And I'm just going to center it on my hold on. So I'm going to do my slip pocket a little different. I'm going to use an overlay, and I'm just going to center this. Just getting rid of some of my fuzzies on one of my lining pieces. And I really need to, I'm just going to guess here. I'm at about 1 inch down, and I'm just going to stitch around the outside. Oops, that's not sticking very well, is it? Stitch around the outside, and I'm going to back stitch. So the overlay we're putting on just like a zipper pocket, but it's actually going to be a slip pocket. Perfect. Okay, now I am going to cut that out. Just like a zipper pocket. I haven't really thought this through. It'll be okay. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to lay this just like this. Let me think about it. Okay, so I'm just doing this by the seat of my pants here. So I just put a piece of tape here underneath my opening in my zipper, my pocket. And I am just going to fold this down just by like 1/4 of an inch. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is just lay it this way. Okay, so here's my pocket, and it's right side up. And then I'm going to fold that down. Because I don't want a raw edge on the inside there. And I'm going to stitch across the bottom. Okay, I'm holding my threads. This is not how she does it in the pattern. Just an FYI. Okay. So now we caught that and there's no raw edge there. And now I'm going to bring this up to the top and sew across the top, matching my sides. And then once I finish this, I'll have a nice little pocket. So I'm going to start on the bottom where I stopped. Let me see. Let me get that in there. Yeah, perfect. Hold your threads. I'm going to come one stitch over, and then I'm going to go up. Okay, and then we're going to go across the top. And then we're going to come down the side and stop where we started on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to back stitch. Okay. I honestly have never done a pocket that way. I like it. Now we just need to close the sides. So we'll fold that over and close the sides. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm kind of cracking myself up here. And do the same on the other side. I think I got some messed up thread here, so I'm going to fix that. Yeah, right there. Let's fix it. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now you have a slip pocket, a perfect slip pocket. No raw edges showing. It is not how she does it in the pattern. If you want to do how she does it, then I would suggest that you do that. But I didn't, I wanted to do an overlay. so that's why I did that. All right, next step. All right, so the next step is attach it to our both lining pieces. So take your zipper placket right side up, find your centers on the top and the bottom, and we're going to attach that to the center. And then we're going to add our top placket centered, and I'm just going to do it in one step. And sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. I gotta get my zipper pull out of the way. There we go. Then we're going to turn that and baste on the lining piece with that seam underneath. Just 1/8 of an inch. And your zipper placket is up. You could do it down if you wanted to. Okay, so that's what you have. I love it. Okay, we're going to repeat that with our other side of our zipper pocket. Our other side of our lining piece. So connect that with your center. And then attach your upper piece centered. Gonna repeat. Okay, and then turn that up and top stitch on this piece. I was looking for my zipper pull. All right. So now what you have is when you put your lining down inside, you have your zipper right side up. It's very nice. Next up. Okay, now we're going to put our lining together. The bottom and the sides. And you want to match your, I'm gonna clip my end of my zipper out of the way. There we go. You want to match your upper linings so that they match. Okay, on both sides. And then stitch. Let me see if the seam allowance is bigger. Let me see. Nope, it's the same. Okay. Do the other side. Okay, let's do the bottom. Extra thread in there. All right, now let's box our corners. I'm gonna have to open this up to get down in there. There we go. And I'm using pretty thin waterproof canvas, so I'm just going to nestle my seams. One seam going one way and one going the other way, just like I did on the outside. Okay. except you want them to go the same way on the bottom. Will it make a difference? Probably not, but I'm kind of anal that way. So what I mean is the bottom seam goes the same way. All right. Here we go. Perfect. Repeat that on this side. Okay. Perfect. It's just a little guy. Next step. All right, so I did the same thing that I did on the outside. I just put a piece of tape under here, and I'm just gonna fold those sides flat so that when I put it together, it'll be nice and flat. Okay. Very common in bag making anymore. So just like that. Now, on the back, so this is the front. I'll move this over so you can see a little better. Hi, guys. This is my front, so I want my pocket in the back. So I'm just gonna lay my lining inside. I have all my centers marked, and we're just gonna clip that together. Remember, the top edge of this is raw. This is one of her older patterns. I don't know if she has any plans on updating it or not. My guess is she might. I think when Lori and I go live, you'll probably already have seen that we folded the, we didn't leave a raw edge on top. We folded it down. Nothing wrong with the raw edge. I will say that. Okay. And then same here. We're going to center on our seam there. Perfect. Okay. Just make sure that the tops are aligning. Because you don't have a big seam. I mean, top stitch, I think it's like 1/8 of an inch. You could do more, I suppose. Yeah. See over here, I didn't get it lined up. There we go. Use as many clips as you need to. Now, I think she glues hers so that it stays in place. You could actually put some tape here. I'm just looking to make sure I'm not missing any and it's staying where I want it to. Okay. And then we're going to top stitch. Okay. I'm going to start in the back, in the center of the back. Grab my threads. And I'm going to increase my stitch length just a little. There we go. I'm just making sure my zipper pocket is out, or my zipper placket is out of the way, and that my two top seams are lined up. So far, so good. Okay, let's see how we did. Pretty good, pretty good. Definitely in today's world on this pattern, I would not leave a raw edge. It looks fine though. I mean, I caught everything. And you could edge paint it. It's very cute. Just gonna get my little fuzzies. Okay, I just need to put a zipper end on. But there you go. Look how cute that is. And I'll put a zipper end on. We'll put that down there. Now, all right, I decided to put one extra row of stitches right on where my D-ring is. Because I do not want to add a rivet there, because it would go right through my stitches, and that would just be bad. Okay, so I just added an extra row right there. I'm going to do that over here. Keep my zipper end out of the way. Oh gosh, I'm breaking clips like crazy today. Let's do that here. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not getting my zipper in the way. Here we go. Okay. Perfect. It's not a big bag. It's not going to be heavy, but you don't want your D-ring coming loose. There we go. Okay. Let me grab my zipper end. All right, let's put our zipper end on. You could put glue in here. I've never had one come loose, but you never say never, you know. Because you only have one tiny little screw. Oh, I need to change my screw. Let me grab it. I need to change the head on my screwdriver. There we go. Okay, here we go. Oops. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Let me grab my strap. Guys, here it is. It is very cute. I would call it a small bag. The mini box tote. It's called a mini. I don't know why I expected something more. So I use Decaville, and because it's a drop-in lining, I would highly recommend it if you're using Cork. You don't have to, but it keeps it from being a slouchy bag. Isn't it cute? And the sides match perfectly. You've got a two-tone strap. And on the inside, you just have a little slip pocket with an overlay. That's what I did. It's a pretty good overlay. Now you could, I think the one I do with Lori on the live, you'll see me, I'll do a zipper pocket. It's got plenty of room too. It's very cute. I like it. I like it. The mini box tote by Sewgnar. Thank you, Nicole, for letting us do your pattern. Appreciate it. Very cute. Very, very cute. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and comment. That thumbs up button is really important to us YouTubers, so please click the thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.